Welcome back, YouTube, to Peterson Auto. We've got a lot done on this Windsor. A lot. Last video I would have put the intake and the heads on. Valve covers are still just resting in place. Before I start this thing up, I'm going to fill it with oil. I'm going to do it down the valve covers. That way it'll wash down over the cam and everything else, and we'll have a nice clean start. Got this exhaust tubing welded up the whole way around with the flex joint in. And the whole exhaust system's mounted up except for a downpipe, but that's, who cares? We don't need that. So today we're talking about distributor. That's where it's going to go. So I did a how to stab your distributor video, basic cleaning, put it back in, kind of idiot proof it for people who don't want to know or just don't care. They got a classic car, they have to pull it out and clean it up once in a while and oil it up. That's for them, you know. Now this one is going to tell you how to put a new distributor in or time a new distributor. So this is in the hole. We're going to pretend this is the old one. Going to loosen your bolt and pull it out. I'll show you that. And then I'll show you how to set up the timing on the engine and distributor to make them match up so things fire in the right spots. Because we don't want misfires. That's bad. Alright, so I already have this loosened, but you loosen your hold down bolt and take out your hold down like we did in the last video. Nice and simple there. Now this, we're just yanking out, okay? Done. It's out. Now, we're going to set this aside. Now we have to find top dead center in the #1 cylinder. When I walk over here, we can take this radiator hose off just for convenience and ease of seeing, because that's just there for mock-up purposes right now. And you can either remove a spark plug and use the spark plug, or I'm going to remove the valve cover here, and that's my preferred method. If you remove the spark plug, you could be 180 off, because that's going to be up on the exhaust and the compression stroke. So we want to be up on the compression stroke. Okay, so we took the valve cover off, and we want to make sure the valves are both closed. So this might actually be fairly close. I don't know. Well, either way, we'll find out. So we go ahead and get a socket to turn the engine over. That's the first thing. So here we go. Now we have an extension. Now we can get in there. So you're going to turn the engine over. That is the intake valve closing there. You can watch it. Or opening, sorry. Now it's closing. So now we should have compression. Just keep watching that cylinder. You'll see what's going on. Now the exhaust valve's opening. So we were pretty close. And the exhaust valve will close. Then the intake valve will open. Intake valve will close. Okay? So once that intake valve closes, you're going to check your timing pointer to find out if you are at top dead center. You're going to go to the mark of top dead center. I'll show you that here in a moment, what you're looking for. Here's a real quick view of the valve, so you can see. If you look from that side, you can see them better. You can see this valve's down back here. Just a little bit. Actually, I might need a little bit more tension on it. Yeah. I'll go through and retorque these one more time. But these two are both, they're both closed. So they're both up. So we come down here to the timing pointer. See top dead center is somewhere nearby. Man, that thing is dirty. So what you're looking for, this is a magnetic pickup setup. Right here, you want to match your timing mark up right here. There we go. It's way up here with this one. And it'll give you top dead center. So we're going to keep going until we get that lined up. And once that's lined up, we know we're at top dead center. and then we can put the distributor in. So I'm going to do that. A little hard to hold the camera, turn it over, and watch. And there we go. So yes, that was a bit of turning. Why? You know, might be a valid question. So when that intake valve closes, you're going to be sitting on, I'm trying to explain this in a good manner. When that intake valve closes, you're not at top dead center. Going to come around even more and build that compression and getting it lined up. So now if we were to theoretically pull this plug out over here and check, that piston should be at or close to top dead center. Doesn't have to be 100%, but it has to be close, really close. So you want to make sure your engine's lined up. After that, we're going to be good. Looks like we might have some overlap going on here too. I don't know the specs on the stock cam offhand. We might have some overlap going on. We'll have to figure it out. But anyway, you're going to be good to put your distributor in. So we got to look at a couple things when we do. And this particular distributor needs a lockout, so there's going to be a quick other video on how to lock it out. And then we'll put it in. Alright, so we got our distributor here. We pop the cap off. And we're going to take a look here, and you see your rotor. You're going to want to index that towards something. Okay? But before that, we have this wonderful O-ring that needs to go on. This is going to go through here, up and over, up and around, and up and around to right there. Okay, that's going to be your oil seal. And it comes with this stuff. It's for breaking in your cams, your cam gear and your distributor gear. So unfortunately, it looks like it's really hard to open. Nope, there's a little tab. Little pull tab there on the side. So push your goop down. Rip it off. This is just lubricant. It's supposed to smother the cam and the distributor gear in it. Well, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to smother the distributor gear in it. And via touching each other, they're going to go together. Also just drip some down the hole and hope for the best. Being in the oil ain't going to hurt anything. But our cam's not in. Man, that stuff is goopy. Our cam's not new, sorry. Our cam is in there, but it's not new. So we obviously have a little dilemma there. So you're going to orient your distributor how you want it to go in the engine. Me, I want it to go like this. And I want the rotor pointing in about that direction because I'm going to put the #1 plug right about here. So if you take the #1 plug, kind of want it on that side just to give you the room. So we're going to take this, we're going to stab it in roughly in that orientation. Now it seems like we're off on the oil pump drive some. So we'll just give it some spins. There we go. So it's close to where we need it. It's all good. That's all there is to putting a distributor in, really. It's just that simple. Now, as long as that lines up with #1, we're going to be set. So I need to take my hold down bolt. We're going to put this in. I'm going to tighten it off camera for you, but I'm going to tighten it by hand enough to keep that distributor from moving around on us at all. So this rotor theoretically can point anywhere. It has to go slide into the cam gear and into the oil pump drive shaft. Oil pump drive shaft on the Ford Windsor is a hex, hence you have about a 60-degree rotation from one to the other. So I wanted it here. That's not perfect. That works. That's fine. If it didn't go next shot or two, I would have been going back this way with it to try to point it up more towards here. It's probably not 100% top dead center, but it's close to it right now. And our timing control is going to adjust everything else out. So we don't really have any issues with that. That would be how you set it up there. I may have to tweak this with the Phytech, because the Phytech allows 25 degrees of timing. And I might want to run 36, so I'll run it at a base 10 advanced. And then in that case, we'll just go ahead and adjust accordingly. Simply by usually turning that. So we can index that accordingly, set it to 10 degrees, you know, advanced on the crank, and then make sure the cap and rotor line up. There's guys who are out there drilling holes in a spare cap for this to see where it sits. I'm not one of those guys. I'm going to do it the way it should be done. But we'll cover that in the Phytech install. For now, done. Okay, so now we have to get our firing order and look that up, because I don't remember that offhand. But we will figure that out. And we'll put all of our plugs and wires on. Okay, so we're going to leave this unclipped for now. I got my coil wire in, as you just saw. But we're going to go ahead. Maybe adjust you a little more. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and make sure we pull this off and double check this is pointing towards. Okay. So this cap, this terminal. So we are as close to top dead center as possible, so we're going to go ahead and make this terminal here the 1. Look at it. That's going to line up close, okay? So we're going to take cylinder 1 and put it right there, okay? So our firing order is 13726548. It's the HO firing order for roller cams. Correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong. That was just a quick Google search. What we need right there. We have this wonderful cap. This cap's going to capture the coil wire and hold that in place. These are Ford racing wires. Chances of them working with this is going to probably be slim, but who knows. Oh, looks like they might work. Okay. So that's going to hold your coil wire out to a certain location wherever that may be that you want it. Unfortunately, you have 2 locations, there or there. So we're going to run it here. In our hardware kit, we had 2 long screws, which I'm fishing out now. If you watched the lockout video, I put all the lockout hardware back in this baggie, and when it's all said and done, I'm going to just go ahead and seal that up with some tape or something. So in case I ever want to lose the Phytech and go to a carb and run a mechanical advanced, it's an option. I'm not buying a whole bunch of new parts because I was dumb and threw them out. We're going to start that screw and this screw. Make sure they're lined up with the holes in the top of the cap. That cracked a little bit, not sure if that's a problem. There we go. And then we're going to take our coil wire and run our coil wire right through where it looks like it's going to line up at. And click it in. Alright YouTube, sorry that cut off mid-shot. We do have our coil wire here, if I look back correctly on the tiny little camera screen. We just had mounted this, clicked it in, and this is going to run probably over here to coil mounted on the fender, maybe on the firewall. Not 100% sure yet there. We're still going to work that out once it gets in the car, but it's set. It's good. So, we'll lock our timing down, and we'll call this a day, really. That's how to put a distributor in. It's always worked well for me. Just get the engine to top dead center on the number 1, and then line everything up from there, and you're good to go. So we have our locked out MSD, and I have the ability to adjust it. If we're going to go ahead and start this up, I'm going to leave the distributor hold down bolt here a little loose, and we're just going to slowly change the timing until it starts to light off. Once it lights off and gets running, you lock that bolt down, get it up to temp, check your timing with the timing gun, and you're good to go. Now, the PhyTech, I'm not 100% sure how it works, or what all it shows, or what all it does. So we may have a slightly different procedure doing that after I look into that a little further. I probably, from what I think, I have to just set the base timing. So I'm going to make sure that cylinder is 100% up on top dead center, and I'm going to point that right at the number 1, and then give it, say, 10 degrees or so, and call it a day. So, or lock it down at number 1 there. I don't know. We'll figure it out. That's a little much. That's for later. That's for the PhyTech itself, not for the distributor. So that's how to put a distributor in from scratch with no idea what's going on, no idea what's in the engine. As long as your cam's set up straight, you know, you're good there. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to Peterson Auto.